Hi there, dragonflies. How is everybody doing today? I really hope you're well. Welcome or welcome back. And yeah, we're going to do a VR today. It's been a little bit longer than usual since I last made a sort of full-length video. So I thought I'd get back into it with a nice relaxed VR to the hashtag the 12 deck tag. Sorry, it took me a moment there to remember what it was. This is by Angel over at Feeding My Soul. She comes up with the best hashtags. Honestly, I have so much fun doing those. And Angel sort of mentioned that this is quite a relaxed tag, just basically, you know, you do whatever you want with the tag. I found it really tricky, purely because I could think of about 10 decks for every single prompt, if not more. And also, I've said this before, I kind of struggle with this balance between answering prompts in these VRs honestly and being wary of showing the same decks over and over again and boring everybody. So yeah, toying with that balance has been a bit tricky, but I hope I've got there with this one. We shall see. So yeah, we shall get into it with the first prompt, which is 3 decks that you couldn't wait to get into when you received them. You couldn't wait to just get the wrapper off and get into them. That's like 90% of my decks, honestly, dragonflies. I love getting decks. I get so excited. It's like the dopamine hit is real. I love it. So this has been really tricky. So I've gone for 3 really recent decks because I still have them in sort of recent memory, how excited I've been to get them. I have shown them briefly before, very, very briefly in my last video, but we're going to look at them a little bit more in detail. And we're going to start with my Victorian Faery Tarot, which I have wanted this for such a long time. I never thought I'd get it. And then hubby surprised me with it. And oh, I genuinely could not wait to get into this deck because it's so special. And I've wanted it for such a long time. Give me 2 seconds. I shall pause whilst I get it all out. Okay, so this is one of the limited edition sets, the recent ones. It came with a full-size deck, a pocket-sized deck, this stunning book. Oh, look at that. I mean, come on. As guidebooks go, that's pretty fantastic. And a couple of other little goodies, postcards and a cloth, reading cloth. But we'll just have a little look at the deck. Yeah, as I say, look at the size. I haven't used this yet because it's a very new acquisition. And I'm sure most of you are sort of quite familiar with it. I hope you can see that okay, actually, because it kind of blends in with my background a little bit. But I can't remember. I think it's when I first started watching tarot videos on YouTube. This was one of the first decks I was aware of. And at that point in time, it was, you know, pretty difficult to get hold of. And then more recently, I have kind of thought about going for the mass market edition, but just purely because I thought, you know, this particular edition, the limited edition set that's sort of newer out, that's come out more recently. I think you know what I mean. But yeah, I thought that was just out of reach, honestly. Particularly with even things like tariffs in the States, and then the cost of postage. And it's not obviously a sort of inexpensive set in itself. These cards are beautiful. But yeah, I just bless my husband. I've talked about this deck almost continuously since I first saw it, and particularly since I saw the limited edition set. And bless his heart, oh, look, they're a little bit stuck together. See, that's how new this is. The gilding's still kind of sticking them together a bit, but I just love the softness of this colour palette. The backs are to die for. That, I mean, look at the Two of Autumn. How can you not be in love with this deck? I mean, I think everything about this deck for me is perfection. I love the figures in it. Look at the King of Autumn. He's just inviting me in to come and chat to him and talk to him. I want to go chat to that guy. Sorry. Yeah, the figures in it are just magical, and the whole theme of it's just so beautiful and so beautifully imagined. I mean, that is just gorgeous. See, I love cards like this. There's so much going on. I just see, this is why I don't really tend to connect much with pip decks, because I just want to read every detail of the cards. I want to take sort of my original understanding of a card and then just dig and see what else it's offering me, see what else it's telling me. I mean, look at this beautiful little couple down here. Oh, I could get lost in this card for hours, and I probably will at some point. So yeah, so this deck I've been look at the Seven of Summer. I have been so excited about, and yeah, never thought it would be mine, and here it is. And yeah, as soon as hubby came in and said, "Oh, this is for you," had to just immediately get in. There was no kind of, whatever I was doing just stopped. That was it. I think I was working on my laptop, and I think I practically threw my laptop out of the window. No, got to get into this deck. So yeah, just look at that Knight of Summer. Yeah, sorry, I could go through the entire deck here and bore you all senseless, but the Fall of the little fairies. There is so much to love about this set. I just think it's perfection. I think the whole set is perfection. I think the artwork could not be better. I think the colour palette is stunning. I think the depictions, I think the figures, I think the way it's produced, the cardstock, it is the single most perfect deck. So yes, that's number one for decks I couldn't wait to get stuck into and unpacked. Then deck number two, let's look at this one. Now, another deck that I have craved for the longest time, I think it's that way up, is the Oak, Ash and Thorn, the Three Trees Tarot. And I recently managed to get the Heartwood Tarot, which I'm currently working with this month, and the Oak, Ash and Thorn. And to save a bit of money, I went for the mini Oak, Ash and Thorn, because there's nothing wrong with little things. I am 5 foot tall. All good things come in little packages. And both of these decks, this and the Heartwood, I have been absolutely, I've wanted them for so long. So the second they arrived, I was there. Actually, I might let me just see if I need to have a little bit of a, I'll zoom in on the edit. Yeah, so I lost my train of thought. Sorry. So yeah, dragonflies. I'll be with you in a minute. Just bear with. Yeah. So I've wanted actually all of the Three Trees decks. I had to limit it to 2 for budgeting reasons, but yeah, I could not wait to get into this. Before this, my sort of animal decks have been fairly limited, but I have bought several recently. Something has drawn me to the animal decks recently. And I love everything about the ethos behind these cards, as well as the cards themselves. So for those that don't know, I'm sure most of you do, but they're printed by Generation Press. They're carbon neutral, solar power, vegetable-based inks, which in itself to me is a win. But the imagery is just dreamy. And, you know, again, as I said before, they are drawing me in. There's such a depth to these cards, to the images, that, you know, you haven't got anything superficial and surface. That the whole artwork just draws you into the all sorts of different parts of it, the foreground, the background, what's going on up here, what's that tiny little thing down there, and that just yeah, like I said, it utterly draws me in. And I love the use of different animals for the miners, for the different suits. Oh gosh, oh no, I don't like that card. That makes me sad. But that said, is it not absolutely speaking to you? That card, again, it's this looking at the, I think this is probably a little bit of an insight into how I read now, actually. But, you know, my first instinct is to go, okay, Ten of Swords, I know what the general meaning of Ten of Swords is to me. But, oh, okay, let's look at the fact that, you know, let's look at the positioning of the bird. Let's look at the positioning of the swords. What's with the butterflies around? What are they doing? What are they doing around the swords? There's some around the base of the swords. Are they pulling the swords out? Are they telling him that the swords don't need to defeat him? He's hanging upside down. Does that, you know, and I just, you know, am I hearkening back to Hanged One? Or it's just that's just how my brain works when I read now. And it makes me realize actually how far I've come in terms of not just going with generic keywords. So this deck has so much detail within it and so much to take from it. Oh, so yeah, this is, again, I've not used this yet. As I say, it's pretty new to me. I'm currently using the Heartwood. But I love that it's a leaf. I love that, you know, your usual sort of heart is a little leaf. And the rain. And the darker leaves underneath. The tumultuous background is the crow hanging his head. But you see, the leaf makes me think, okay, so, sorry, I wasn't intending to read the cards, but, you know, while we're here, see, that leaf is, to me, that's an autumn leaf. It's a leaf that's fallen. It's down, it's done. Its time on the tree is done. But we know that this is part of the cycle. This is part of the, you know, ever-turning wheel, the ups and downs of life. You have to go through this to experience the good, and soon the tree will, you know, bring forth, oh, who am I? New life and new beginnings and new hope. So, now see. Oh, look, I'm not going to read every single card, but I think that's why I'm so excited about this deck, is because I immediately am drawn into reading all the details of these cards. And, you know, I love that it's sort of British wildlife based. You know, I see every single one of these animals quite regularly on dog walks. My garden is full of all sorts of carrion birds, to be fair. And I just, yeah, sorry, again, I could go on for hours here. Look at the reds. And again, the red squirrel. The red squirrel is native to the Isle of Wight. And then you've got this, look at the beautiful stag, the emperor. Yes. The owl there, look at the lovers, the little foxes. Yeah, okay. On the badger, we have a badger. Not like as a pet, just saying. So, yeah, it's a wild one. And hedgehogs, yeah, see, I mean, we don't tend to have wolves in our garden. But, you know, that aside, I think all swans, but I do see them when I do my walks with the dog. So, yeah, it's, yeah, it's just the most wonderful deck. And I, again, as I said, I've been so desperate to get hold of these decks, to finally have them. Yeah, I couldn't wait to get into them. Having whittled on for too long about that deck, we will go to the third deck in the I can't wait to get this open. And that's the Elysian Tarot by Lucia Dami. I'm so sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly. I did talk about this very, very briefly in my last video. But this, this is an Etsy purchase. It's an indie deck on Etsy. And I think I explained before, I've been trying to, I should just like go through them whilst let me show the box a bit more. Whilst I talk, really, shouldn't I? That's why my videos are so long. But I've been looking at Etsy because I've wanted to buy more indie decks and support more sort of small creators. And I was really struggling to find stuff that there was a gap in my collection for. I didn't just want to buy for the hell of buying, really. I wanted something that I thought was going to fill a gap. And this absolutely leapt out at me. I mean, I love the fact that it's got matte gold edging. It's so, so beautifully produced. And yeah, the images immediately spoke to me. They've got this real sort of astrological quality because of the stars, but also kind of a little bit, what's the word? Mythological and ancient. And, you know, all that aside, it is just so, so beautiful. Now, funnily enough, I was talking about how I don't tend to do brilliantly with pip decks because I like to have a whole ton of information in the cards. I want to get as, you know, deep and detailed as I can. But I mean, whilst it is a little pippish, that's not even bothering me. I really, really love it because, yeah, we've got Six of Swords, but then with the roses that are climbing up it, and you know, it's just an unbelievably stunning looking deck. And I was considering doing a VR to Simon at Hermit's Cave, my most beautiful decks. Which I may still do, but this is up there. I think this might be my most beautiful deck. And it's, look at the Queen of Coins. But there is information in there. It doesn't have the detail of the Victorian Faery Tarot or the Oak, and Thorn, but yeah, no, actually that's not fair. The detailing is different. It's done in a very different way. And, you know, there's a lot in that seemingly very simple image there. And you see, I'm going to go just casually go in and read the cards again. Muse of Coins, yeah. So this gives me the vibes of when I was dancing. We actually learned classical Greek style dancing, which is quite balletic, but it's based on the sort of poses and positions of figures on sort of Greek art and Greek pottery, and 9 times out of 10 the dances will be based around a Greek myth, and mythology and folklore from all kinds of cultures has always fascinated me. Greek, Roman, look, yeah, and so this, I don't have much in the way. I think this might be my only kind of real sort of astrology stroke mythology styly deck, actually. I don't have much in the way of mythological decks. Certainly not Greek and Roman, which is weird actually, because I love Egyptian mythology. I love Greek and Roman. So yeah, look how gorgeous. Yeah. Anyway, I waffle and I digress. But I think that Lucia sent out the first copy and flipping Royal Mail lost it. No idea where it is. It's floating in the ether somewhere. Look at the devil card. Yeah, it's floating in the ether somewhere. And so I had to wait a little extra time, but bless her, she immediately, as soon as she knew, she had another deck in the post to me, which came within a couple of days. So yeah, I was absolutely chomping at the bit to get into this deck. Right, I hope I haven't waffled irrelevantly for too long there. Probably have. It's kind of just my MO. So yeah, so those are 3 decks that I could not wait to unpack and get into. Alrighty then, so the next prompt is 3 decks that have basically just sat on your shelf that you haven't been called to use, and why. There's a few of these, but I think these are probably... I know I've talked about the Lion Strider Tarot several times. I still haven't managed to use it yet. But these are 3 that I literally genuinely haven't even tried to really, really work with. Actually, that's not true. No, there's one that I've tried, but I haven't really lifted it off my shelf other than to look through it, honestly, I don't think. Or have I? I don't know. Anyway, so we'll start with that one, because I can't remember whether I've tried to use this or not now. That's where my brain is. So yeah, this is the Every Little Thing You Do Is Magic Tarot by Callie Little and Morea Seal. And I know this is a super, super popular deck. And I know also there is a bigger guidebook, which I think might help me. Oh yeah, this isn't in order, so I've obviously done something with it. I just don't remember now. But I just don't ever get called to use it at all. And I really want to. I want to kind of understand it more. But there are other decks that make me want to use them more, and I just don't think I get it the way that other people do. I don't dislike the deck, but there's just something about it that is just pulls me away from it when I consider using it. And I know I have talked about this before in here, that I just don't feel a really strong connection to it. And so that's why I've been kind of umming and ahhing about whether to buy the sort of companion book, because I feel like maybe I haven't given it enough of a chance, and that if I have the companion book, perhaps something might click for me. See, I'm just so kind of left with nothing. No, I mean, I could do a reading, but it's not that I couldn't read the cards. They don't draw me in. The artwork doesn't draw me in the way that other decks do. I guess it's just, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should go and get the companion book. What do you think? Do I need to give this more of a chance? That's quite cool. Maybe I do. Maybe it's just because the style of the imagery doesn't do it for me. I don't know. But yeah, I have not been called to use that deck, at least not properly, since I got it. And it's one of the first, yeah, it was a fairly early purchase. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Should I dive deeper? Maybe. We'll see. Okay, then another one. This is one that I got pre-loved for a really, really good price on Vinted. I do love a Colette Baron Reed deck, but since I got it, it hasn't called to me. And I think I felt a little bit of disappointment, honestly. It wasn't what I expected, and I know that sounds crazy, because there were, the list, this was a Vinted purchase, and there were, now I don't know. Oh, now I'm liking it more. Or am I? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it just didn't have the feel that I expected it to have. Like I said, on Vinted, there were images of the cards, and I really liked them. I don't like the backs. I'm not a fan of the backs. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just a bit. See, I don't connect with mermaids. I've got to be honest. I don't have a connection there. Yeah, I can't quite. I don't dislike the deck, and actually, the imagery is very beautiful. But it doesn't feel the way I expected it to feel. Does that make sense? Yeah, see, I'm a water sign, but that's not doing it for me. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Dragonflies, but it's just, it doesn't feel right somehow, and I don't know what I can't, maybe it's the mermaids. Yeah, I don't know. I just can't connect to it the way that I thought I would. And yeah, the only way I can describe it is that it doesn't feel, I think I thought it would feel, it's more sort of airy and floaty and ethereal, I think, than I thought it was going to be. And that's not generally an aesthetic that I go for, or a feel that I go for. But yeah, I'm undecided on that one, but that has, since I bought it, that's the Good Tarot. It has just sat on my shelf, not gonna lie. And then the third one I've chosen is Tarot of the Sorceress. Now I was really excited to get this one. Witch's Wheel of the Year. I thought, right up my street. It's got a similar kind of feel to the Elysian Tarot, but this is mass market. And yeah, I was so excited to get this. I think I may even have pre-ordered it, you know. And actually, I like the guidebook. And I don't dislike the deck. That's the strange thing about it, is that I like the deck. Mostly, I think. But I can't even remember. It's been so long since I've actually got this out and looked at it. Yeah, it's pretty, but now I'm looking at it again, I can kind of see why I've not pulled it out, because I don't. Yeah, it's not doing that thing that a deck needs to do for me. It's not making me want to dig deeper. It's not making me want to explore more than just the surface stuff. It's not drawing me in. Is it just not peoply enough? No, there's people. I don't know. And I'm not averse to monochrome. I love I've got a few sort of monochromy decks. Don't mind that. But yeah. Might be the lack of people. Oh. See, that just says Pink Floyd to me for some reason. That's because my husband's a massive Pink Floyd fan. But yeah, I just, there's not a lot in this that it feels a bit like they could have done more with it. And I think it has potential that hasn't been realised, maybe. Yeah, anyway, I shall be here all week, but it is a bit pippy and a bit kind of not peoply enough, maybe. Yeah. See, that card's nice. And where did that go? Yeah, that's lovely. But I just, yeah. So I haven't, despite the fact I was really excited about getting it, again, I think I've been a little bit left feeling a bit flat with it. And it's actually, I think that the Elysian Tarot, the indie deck I showed earlier, I think is filling this hole for me in a much better way than Tarot of the Sorceress. So, yeah. There we go. So 3 decks that I have not been called to use. And why, although I haven't really explained why, because I don't really know. Okay, so prompt number 3 is 3 decks that you want to do a deep dive on, you want to really go into. And I've got so many decks for this. I'm currently deep diving the Rhythm and Soul, which, I know I keep banging on about it, but I love it. I can't help it. It's amazing. So yeah, I will quickly show this one because I've talked about this a lot on this channel, how I struggle to connect with it despite how much I love it. I won't show the cards again because I've done it so many times. But this is the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot. I'll just have a little... I do have, and I didn't actually get it out for the VR, which is really silly, but my apologies. But maybe it's because it's a bit pippy in places, I don't know. Anyway, I have now got the companion book for this. So I definitely want to deep dive with that. But as I said, I've talked about it a lot, so I won't go over it. So that's deck 1. The second deck is another one I've shown when I've talked about my John Matthews obsession. And I've kind of got a newfound sort of excitement here because I was so let down by the Goblin Market Tarot that I just went, you know what? I need to go. I want to go back to a John Matthews deck that I'm going to love. And I've talked about how much the whole theme and creation and story behind this deck is just so compelling. I hate these 2 boxes. I wish they would stop doing that. But when I showed this deck before, I talked about how I was really hating the borders and how I thought they detracted so much from the beautiful artwork within. And actually, do you know, it's funny, I've got got a couple of other decks that John Matthews has done with Will King. But this is by far my favourite in terms of the internal artwork. But yeah, so I had a bit of a moan about the massive borders and how the artwork inside was a bit like lost because of them. But then somebody commented on the video saying, well, actually, the borders very much reflect Nostradamus's home. The person that commented lives like literally minutes, I think, from Nostradamus's home. And that made me go, oh, okay, I'm going to have another look. I see why they've done it now. There's a reason behind it. So whilst I'm, you know, the imagery on the cards themselves with the borders, I like it. It's beautiful. Yeah, I'm a little bit about. I love the concept and I want to really deep dive into which prophecies, they're not all prophecies, are they? I keep forgetting the name. Come on, I watched a documentary the other day. The couplets. How am I not getting this? And quatrain, that's it. I really want to understand those connections and how they might enhance a reading and how they might sort of affect the reading of the cards and the interpretation. So I'm quite fascinated by this deck, more so than I was when I first got it, actually. And so I'm really very, very keen to deep dive this one. And we've got a lovely, chunky, good old John Matthews packed with information guidebook. So yeah, I really want to deep dive that one. And then the other one that I'm really keen to deep dive is this one that I got on eBay. So it didn't have the original box, but it is an original deck. I've had that confirmed by you lovely people. Is the Anna K Tarot. Because this has been another deck that's been a bit of a unicorn deck for me that I've wanted so much and wasn't sure I'd be able to get it because obviously the sort of pre-loved copies are really expensive. But because this one didn't have the box, it was that little bit cheaper, and I thought, well, I can keep it in a pouch. I've got the book. The book did come with it. And yeah, I'm so excited about having this, and I really am kind of looking at this deck. I get this out fairly frequently, actually. I've only sort of looked through it like this. I haven't actually worked with it yet, hence the how I think it's mostly in order. But I'm desperate to deep dive this deck. I think to the point where I think this could be my October deep dive. I don't know. There's just something in the eyes of the figures in this that absolutely draws me in. The art style, it just reminds me of kind of a lot of the kind of cartoons from the sort of 1970s. Quite often the ones that they used to show you in school when they used to, well, I think I've said this before, when they used to wheel the old Betamax and the big TV in, and you were like, hey, excellent, we don't have to do any proper work for an afternoon. We're going to get taught about something by these cartoon characters. But yeah, on a more serious note, I love the people in this deck. I want to read them and their experiences and their thoughts, and yeah. Sorry, again, I could go on. So you know when it's a deck that I'm absolutely in love with, because I could talk about it for weeks. But yeah, so the Anna K Tarot is a definite one for a deep dive. Okay, so the fourth and final prompt is 3 decks that you want to use before the end of the year. Again, that could be about 90% of my decks, but being realistic, we all know that's not going to happen. Oh, I've just seen a 4th one. Oh, I might include that instead of that, you know. Again, I did have the Rackham Tarot, which I do want to use before the end of the year, but I have shown that quite a bit. So, bear with me. I shall just pop to my tarot shelf and get this one instead. So yeah, this is my most recent, I think my most recent acquisition, possibly. And I did talk about this in my sort of end of August roundup video. But yeah, I've been trying to decide whether to get this deck for such a long time, and I've been on the fence, and then I finally went for it, and I love it, and I'm desperate to use it, because again, it's one of those decks that is just drawing me in. It's asking me to read every part of it. Yeah, you see, like, you know, what's going on in the background, mountain, key in his hand there, his position, yeah. I can't help myself, dragonflies. It's quite hard to go through a deck and not, that you love and is really drawing you in, and not just read it. Yeah, but yeah, I really, because it took me so long to decide. I'm probably rattling my camera holder framey thing so badly today, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit off balance because of this stupid foot of mine. Oh, look. Yeah, see, so I desperately want to use this by the end of the year. I might use it in October. It has got kind of October-y vibes to me. Oh yeah, maybe October for that one. Sorry, I'm getting a bit quicker on these because I'm conscious of not making like the world's longest videos all the time. I love the strength card so much. I have mentioned that before. But yeah, I really want to get using this one. Now that I have it, I'm glad I've made the leap, because it's a gorgeous deck and there is so much in there that I want to get my teeth into. So yes, that is a contender for October for sure. Another one I want to use before the end of the year is the Llewellyn Tarot. Now, I've only just got this, so I haven't really been... I've looked through it briefly. I don't know why it's taken me so long to get this deck, but I think I mostly have to blame. I think Simon from Hermit's Cave mostly recently has been to blame for my deck purchases. No, you know what I mean. He, of course, is not to blame. I absolutely am to blame for buying them. But when I'm on the fence about a deck and I've seen it on Simon's channel, I go, oh, okay. It's almost like, well, if Simon likes it, then, you know, I need to have that. So I finally went for it. So it's another one I've been on the fence about, a massive guidebook for a long time. But now I have it. I really like it. I guess, see, I might... The borders perhaps do bother me a little because they're quite big. But I think you could very easily... you could trim them down, but then you lose all of this detail at the top. Yeah. No, I don't think I'll be trimming them. I can get over it. But I just... It's such a beautiful kind of... pagan-y feeling deck, and yeah, it's just I don't know why I hesitated on buying it so much, because it is just beautiful. I love that Eight of Wands. Oh my god, I've only just really... Oh, sorry. She's getting lost again. Yeah, so anyway, I really want to... I'd like to work with this for sure before the end of the year, because it's one I've been late to the party with, and I want to catch up. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, sorry, I'm going through these really quickly now because I don't want to bore everybody, and I'm trying not to stop and read cards as I go. And then the third one for this that I want to use before the end of the year is, again, it's one that I've sort of shown but not fully. Terror of the Old Forest by Mort Sparrow and Emily Sparrow. This is another Etsy indie deck that is, again, this is another one that I had on my wish list, my Etsy kind of favourites list for the longest time, and just, I don't know why it took me so long to finally bite the bullet and buy it, but I love it. I'm so glad I did. And again, I think it's funny, I think the 3 decks I've chosen for the one to use them by the end of the year are decks that I have hesitated over and taken ages to decide to buy. And maybe I feel like I've kind of lost some time and I need to kind of make it up to them by just getting on and using them. I mean, look, it's such a beautiful deck. Love it. The cardstock's gorgeous as well. Might be a bit thick for some people, but yeah. And I'm really annoyed with myself for hesitating so much over all of these decks, but particularly this one, because I knew when I first saw it that I loved it. And I don't know whether it's because, you know, I've only really just got to a stage of appreciating and buying and using animal-based decks. Because as I've said many times before, I love a peoply deck. I love animals. I mean, for goodness sake, I've rescued 15 guinea pigs that are kind of downstairs, and I could just about hear them squeaking in the background. And you know, I adore animals, but yeah, I just really have struggled to read animal decks. But I've just kind of got over that barrier, and I've bought a few. I bought the Guardian of the Night Tarot as well recently. But yeah, I would really like to see. I'm wondering if this is. I haven't decided whether this is like a deep dive deck, because actually it is kind of. Ooh, yeah, maybe it's. I don't know if it's a deep dive deck or just to get stuck in and start doing spreads with it. I don't know, but that's gorgeous. Yeah, it's just gorgeous in every single way. I love it because it's so different as well. It's got a really unique feel, this deck. So yes, just give you a little flick through. It is pretty fairly standard RWS most of the way through. There's just got the green one I think I saw in there, and yeah, so I think you could read this straight out of the box, so it might be that I just grab it as my reading deck at some point. What have we done with that? Yeah, anyway, sorry, this video has been I think I lost my video making vibe a bit again. So yeah, I think I'm struggling to get back into it a little bit, but I'm glad to be here and showing you those decks. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and that it wasn't too kind of just vague and away with the fairies, honestly. Because that's how I'm kind of feeling at the moment. I'm a bit, yeah. I feel a little bit disconnected, a little bit woo. I'm not on anything, I promise you. It's really strange that I'm just, yeah. Anyway, shut up, Lily. Okay, we're done. Thank you so much, Angel, for creating a brilliant tag. I'm sorry that I butchered it with my nonsense. Yeah, hopefully I'll be a little bit more sort of with it and less just see, I can't even put words together again. Right, I'm gonna go dragonflies, because what am I doing? Take care, my lovelies, and I will hopefully see you soon.